The wind blew cold through the trees as Park Jiho checked his watch. It was almost midnight. His shift as a forest ranger would end soon, but he wanted to finish his round. The mountains of South Korea were quiet this time of year. Most tourists stayed away during the winter months, leaving Jiho alone with the trees and wildlife. He pulled his thick coat tighter around his body. The radio at his belt crackled. "Jiho, you still out there?" It was Han, his supervisor, back at the main station. Jiho picked up the radio. "Yes, almost done with my last check." "Well, hurry back. Weather report says snow is coming." "I will," Jiho said. Just as he put the radio back, a bright light flashed across the sky. Jiho looked up just in time to see what looked like a falling star. But this was different. It was bigger, brighter, and it was heading straight for his forest. The light crashed somewhere in the distance with a sound like thunder. The ground shook under Jiho's feet. His radio buzzed again. "Jiho, did you see that? What was it?" Jiho hesitated. The crash site was close, maybe just a kilometer away. He could check it before the snow started. "Probably just a meteor," he said, into the radio. "I'll go take a look. Be careful. Report back in 30 minutes. "Will do." Jiho turned off the main path and headed toward where he had seen the light fall. The forest was dark, but he knew these woods well. His flashlight showed the way as he climbed over fallen trees and rocks. 20 minutes later, he found it. A line of broken trees led to a small crater. In the center was something Jiho had never seen before. It was not a rock from space. It was some kind of ship, about the size of a small car. It was made of a strange metal that seemed to glow slightly in the darkness. But what caught Jiho's attention was the creature lying next to the ship. At first, he thought it was a wolf. Korea had not had wild wolves for many years, but Jiho had seen pictures of them. This animal was like a wolf, but wrong in many ways. It was huge, almost as big as a bear. Its fur was pure white, so white it seemed to glow in the beam of his flashlight. And it had 6 legs, not 4. The creature was hurt. Dark blue blood covered its white fur. One of its legs was bent at a strange angle. When Jiho's light hit its face, the creature opened its eyes. They were like no eyes Jiho had ever seen. They looked like crystals with many colors swirling inside them. The creature growled, showing teeth that could easily tear Jiho apart. Jiho stepped back, his heart beating fast. He should call this in. This was clearly something beyond his job as a forest ranger. This was something for the government, for scientists. But then he saw how badly the creature was hurt. It was dying. And in its strange eyes, Jiho saw something he understood: pain and fear. His radio buzzed. "Jiho, report." It's been 30 minutes. Slowly, Jiho raised the radio to his mouth, his eyes never leaving the alien creature. "Just a meteor," he lied. "Nothing special. I'm heading back now because of the snow." "Good. See you soon." Jiho put the radio away. He knew he was making a choice that could change his life, but he could not leave this creature to die alone. He took off his backpack and opened it. Inside was his dinner, dried meat and rice. He took out the meat and held it out. "I don't know if you can eat this," he said softly, "but you need food to heal." The creature growled again, but weaker this time. Jiho could see it was starving. Very slowly, he placed the meat on a rock between them and stepped back. The creature watched him, not moving. "I'll come back tomorrow," Jiho said. "Try to stay alive until then." As he walked away, he heard movement behind him. When he looked back, the meat was gone, and the creature was watching him with those strange crystal eyes. For the next 6 days, Jiho went to the crash site after his shift ended. Each time he brought food, meat from his own meals or fresh fish he caught in the mountain streams. Each day, the creature seemed a little stronger. On the 3rd day, it let Jiho come close enough to help clean its wounds. On the 5th day, it was able to stand on all 6 legs, though one was still weak. On the 7th day, a snowstorm hit the mountains. It was the worst storm Jiho had seen in years. The wind howled through the trees and the snow fell so thick, Jiho could barely see his hand in front of his face. He knew he should stay at the ranger station, but he worried about the alien creature. Would it survive the cold? It was still weak from its injuries. Against all good judgment, Jiho put on his heaviest winter clothes and set out for the crash site. The journey that usually took 20 minutes now took nearly 2 hours. When he finally reached the crater, he found the creature, huddled against its ship, trying to stay out of the wind. "You can't stay here," Jiho said over the howling wind. "You'll freeze." The creature looked at him but did not move. Jiho pointed to a small cave he knew was nearby. "Shelter," he said. "Come." To his surprise, the creature stood and followed him. They made their way to the cave together, fighting against the storm. Inside it was dry and out of the wind. Jiho gathered branches and started a small fire. The creature watched him with those crystal eyes that seemed to see right through him. "My name is Jiho," he said, pointing to himself. The creature tilted its head, as if it was trying to understand. Jiho pulled out the food he had brought, a package of beef jerky and some dried fruit. He offered it to the creature, who took it gently from his hand. As the storm raged outside, Jiho felt strangely peaceful. He leaned against the cave wall, watching the fire. His eyes grew heavy, and soon he fell asleep. He woke to a strange feeling. The creature had moved closer while he slept. Now its muzzle was pressed gently against his forehead. A warm feeling spread through Jiho's mind, like nothing he had ever felt before. It was not painful, but it was strange, like someone was touching his thoughts. Images flashed in his mind. Stars he had never seen, worlds with skies of different colors, and creatures like the one before him running in packs across silver plains. The creature pulled back, and those crystal eyes stared into Jiho's. And somehow, Jiho knew. This was just the beginning of something much bigger than him, bigger than this small corner of Earth. For the first time, something passed between them that was more than just food or help. It was understanding. Morning light filtered through the cave entrance. Jiho opened his eyes and found the white alien wolf watching him. The storm had passed during the night, leaving a world covered in fresh snow outside. Jiho sat up slowly. His head felt different. New thoughts and feelings moved through his mind. He looked at the creature and somehow knew it had a name. Not a human word, but something he felt rather than heard. "Nara," he said, testing the sound. It was the closest his human voice could come to the feeling in his mind. The wolf creature tilted its head, its crystal eyes flashing with colors. A feeling of agreement touched Jiho's thoughts. "Your name is Nara," Jiho said with more confidence. Chup, creature, Nara, moved closer and touched her nose to his hand. Images flowed into Jiho's mind. Nara running with others like her under strange stars, ships that flew between worlds, and terrible shadow beings that attacked her ship. Jiho pulled his hand away, shocked. "I can see your memories," he said. Nara looked at him, and Jiho felt a question forming in his mind. It was hard to understand at first, but he slowly realized what Nara wanted to know. "I am human," he said, pointing to himself. "From Earth, this world." More images came to him. Nara's ship, a mission to explore new worlds for her people, an attack that damaged her ship and forced her to crash on Earth. She had expected to die here, alone on a strange world. "Your people, what are they called?" Jiho asked. A feeling flowed into his mind. Pride, strength, pack bonds. The closest word he could find was Luminar. They were hunters who had learned to build ships that traveled between stars. They lived in large family groups called packs. Nara had been a scout, sent ahead to see if Earth might be good for a new pack home. But other beings, the shadows Jiho had seen in her memories, had followed Nara. They were called the Void Collective, enemies of the Luminar. They did not build ships but moved through space like a disease, taking over worlds and all who lived there. "Why did you come to Earth?" Jiho asked. Images of dying worlds filled his mind. The Luminar were looking for new homes because the Void Collective had taken many of their planets. They fought when they could, but often had to run. As they sat in the cave, their mental link grew stronger. Jiho found he could send simple thoughts to Nara, and she could understand him better. By midday, they were having a real conversation, without words. "I need to go back to the ranger station," Jiho explained through their link. "People will worry if I stay away too long." Nara's fear flooded his mind. She was still weak. What if humans found her? What if the Void Collective came looking? "I will come back," Jiho promised. "No one else knows you are here." He stood and picked up his pack. As he turned to leave, Nara sent him one more image, her teeth biting into the food he had given her, her body taking in not just the food but tiny parts of him, his DNA. The image changed to show invisible bonds forming between them, growing stronger each time she ate what he gave her. In Luminar culture, this meant something important. When a Luminar saved another's life and shared food, they formed a bond that could never be broken. It was called a blood oath, the strongest promise in their world. Through their link, Jiho understood what had happened. By feeding Nara, he had started a process that bound them together. Now she was sworn to protect not just him, but all those she saw as his pack, and to the surprise of both of them, Nara now saw all humans as Jiho's pack. "I will be back tonight," Jiho said, both with words and his mind. "Stay hidden." At the ranger station, Jiho tried to act normal. His supervisor Han asked about the storm, and Jiho said he had found shelter in a cave. This was true, but not the whole truth. All day, Jiho felt Nara's presence in his mind. When he looked at maps, she could see them too. When he learned things, she learned them as well. Their link was growing stronger even with distance between them. After his shift, Jiho gathered more food and medical supplies. Han noticed and raised an eyebrow. "Going camping?" he asked. "Just want to be prepared," Jiho said. "The weather has been strange lately." As promised, Jiho returned to the cave that night. Nara was waiting for him. She looked stronger already. Her white fur glowed softly in the darkness, and her injured leg was healing faster than any earth animal could heal. They sat together, and through their link, Nara taught Jiho about the stars. She showed him worlds he could never imagine. Creatures, so strange he had no words for them. In return, Jiho shared his knowledge of Earth, its animals, plants, and people. "Your species is young," Nara told him through their link. "But there is something special about you. You helped me when you could have killed me. You shared food when you could have left me to starve." "Not all humans would do that," Jiho admitted. "But you did," Nara replied. "And now we are bound. Yam the O. Blood oath cannot be broken. I am sworn to protect you and your pack, all humans, for as long as I live." Jiho felt the weight of her words. This was not just about him and one alien wolf anymore. This was about all of humanity. "What happens now?" he asked. Nara stood stronger than before. "I must reach my pack. They need to know about the Void Collective following me here. And they need to know about the blood oath. If I die, they will never know that Earth must be protected." A cold feeling went through Jiho. "How do we reach them? Your ship is damaged." "There, maybe a way," Nara said, "but I will need your help." Before she could explain more, both of them felt something, a warning sense that made Nara's fur stand on end. Through their link, Jiho felt it too. Someone was coming. Many someones. "Humans," Nara growled. "They have found my ship." Jiho moved to the cave entrance and looked out. In the distance, he could see flashlights moving through the trees. Men, in uniform, were heading toward the crash site. "We need to go," Jiho said urgently. "Now." As they slipped out of the cave and into the night, Jiho realized his simple life as a forest ranger was over. He was now part of something much bigger, a bond between worlds, a promise that could save or doom all humanity. And it had all started with a simple act of kindness, feeding a dying wolf from the stars. Jiho led Nara deeper into the forest, away from the men with flashlights. Snow crunched under their feet as they moved between the tall pine trees. The night was cold, but Nara's white fur kept her warm. Jiho, however, was starting to shiver. "Need to find shelter," he said through their mental link. "And I need to know who those people are." Nara sent him an image of a small wooden building. Jiho recognized it right away. "My cabin," he said. "Yes, we can go there. It's about 2 kilometers from here." The cabin was Jiho's home when he wasn't staying at the ranger station. It was small but had everything they needed: food, warmth, and privacy. They reached the cabin just as the moon rose above the trees. Jiho unlocked the door and let Nara in first. She looked around with curious eyes, taking in the simple furniture, the small kitchen, and the fireplace. "Stay away from the windows," Jiho warned. "If anyone comes, hide in the bedroom." Jiho started a fire and made tea for himself. Through their link, he felt Nara's curiosity about everything human. She had never been inside a human building before. "Tomorrow I'll go to work like normal," Jiho explained. "I'll try to find out who was searching the crash site." Nara agreed. She curled up near the fire, her white fur reflecting the orange flames. Jiho sat in his chair watching her. It was hard to believe that just a week ago he had been a simple forest ranger with a simple life. Now he shared his mind with an alien wolf and was hiding her from government agents. Morning came too quickly. Jiho left Nara at the cabin and went to the ranger station. As soon as he arrived, he knew something was wrong. There were strange vehicles in the parking lot, and men in dark suits stood talking to Han. Jiho tried to act normal as he walked in. Han waved him over. "Jiho, these people want to talk to you about the meteor that fell last week," Han said. He looked nervous. One of the men stepped forward. "Park Jiho? I'm Agent Lee with the National Intelligence Service. We need to ask you some questions." Jiho felt his heart beat faster. Through the link, he could feel Nara's concern. She could see and hear everything through his eyes and ears. "Of course," Jiho said calmly. "What do you want to know?" They took him to a small room and asked about the night of the crash. Jiho stuck to his story. He saw a meteor, checked the site, found nothing but a hole in the ground, and left. "That's strange," Agent Lee said, "because we found something very interesting at that crash site, something that doesn't belong on Earth." Jiho kept his face blank. "What do you mean?" "We think you know exactly what we mean, Ranger Park," said a new voice. A woman walked into the room. She was short, with short black hair and sharp eyes behind round glasses. She wore a white lab coat over dark clothes. "I am Dr. Kim Hyejeon," she said. "I lead the xenobiology department at the Space Defense Program." "The what?" Jiho asked, genuinely confused. "A secret program to protect Earth from potential threats from space," Dr. Kim explained. "Until last week, most people thought our job was unnecessary. Now we have proof that we are not alone." She put photos on the table. They showed Nara's damaged ship and footprints in the mud near the crash site, 6-toed footprints that no Earth animal could make. "The creature that made these prints is injured," Dr. Kim said. "It's bleeding a fluid that matches no known animal on Earth, and it's being helped by someone who knows these woods well." She looked straight at Jiho. "Someone like you." Jiho said nothing. In his mind, he told Nara to stay hidden, to not worry. "We're not here to hurt you or the creature," Dr. Kim said more softly. "But we need to know what we're dealing with. Our satellites have detected something alarming." She showed Jiho another photo, this one taken from space. It showed a group of dark shapes moving toward Earth. "These appeared 3 days ago," Dr. Kim said. "They're ships moving very fast. Some seem to be chasing others." Jiho felt Nara's shock through their link. She recognized those shapes. "My people," she thought to Jiho. "And behind them, the Void Collective. They've found me." Jiho tried to keep his face calm, but Dr. Kim was watching him closely. "You know something," she said. It wasn't a question. Just then, Jiho felt a sharp pain through his link with Nara. He winced and grabbed his leg, the same leg that Nara had injured in the crash. Dr. Kim's eyes widened. "You're connected to it, aren't you? Somehow you can feel what it feels." Jiho knew he couldn't hide the truth anymore. Not with what was coming to Earth. "Her name is Nara," he said quietly. "And she's not a threat to us. But what's following her is." Dr. Kim sent the other agents out of the room. When they were alone, she leaned forward. "Tell me everything," she said. So Jiho did. He told her about finding Nara, feeding her, and their growing mental link. He explained about the Luminar and the Void Collective, about the Blood Oath and what it meant. Dr. Kim listened without interrupting. When Jiho finished, she sat back in her chair. "I need to meet her," she said. "Why should I trust you?" Jiho asked. "Because if what you're saying is true, Earth is about to be caught in an interstellar war," Dr. Kim replied. "And I want our species to survive it." That evening, Jiho took Dr. Kim to his cabin. Nara was waiting, her white fur glowing softly in the dim light. Dr. Kim stopped in the doorway, her eyes wide with wonder. "She's beautiful," Dr. Kim whispered. Nara stood tall on her 6 legs, her crystal eyes studying the human woman. "She has something to tell us," Jiho said. "Something important." Through their link, Nara sent images that Jiho translated for Dr. Kim. The ships were closer than they thought. The Void Collective had followed Nara's trail to Earth, and behind them came the Luminar pack, searching for their lost scout. "How many ships?" Dr. Kim asked. "Many," Jiho said, seeing the images in his mind. "Hundreds of Void ships. Maybe 50 Luminar ships. And they're coming here? To Earth?" "Yes," Jiho said. "The Void Collective sees Earth as a new world to take. The Luminar are coming for Nara, but they don't know about the Blood Oath yet." "What does that mean for us?" Dr. Kim asked. Nara sent more images to Jiho, of the Luminar protecting planets, of the sacred nature of the Blood Oath, of how it would bind all Luminar to protect not just Jiho but all humans. "If Nara can contact her people," Jiho explained, "if she can tell them about the oath, they will be bound to protect Earth, all of Earth. It's their most sacred law." Dr. Kim looked at Nara with new understanding. "So it's not just about one alien wolf anymore. It's about the future of humanity." "Yes," Jiho said, "but Nara needs to send a signal, and her ship is too damaged. She needs something more powerful." "Doctor." Kim smiled for the first time. "Like the equipment at my government facility?" Nara stepped forward and touched her nose to Dr. Kim's hand. The woman gasped as she felt, for the first time, the touch of Nara's mind. "We need to hurry," Jiho said. "The ships will be here in 3 days." As they made plans to get Nara to the facility, none of them noticed the shadow that moved across the window of the cabin. A shadow that was darker than the night. A shadow that had no source. The Void Collective had already arrived on Earth. The next morning, Jiho, Dr. Kim, and Nara left the cabin before dawn. They traveled in Dr. Kim's black government car, with Nara hidden under blankets in the back seat. Jiho sat beside her, keeping her calm through their mental link. "The facility is about 2 hours from here," Dr. Kim explained as she drove. "Once we arrive, I'll need to get you both inside without being seen. Not everyone there will understand what we're trying to do." Through their link, Nara showed Jiho more about the Void Collective. They were not solid beings like humans or Luminar. They were more like living shadows that could take over other creatures, controlling their bodies and minds. If they reached Earth in force, they would begin by taking over humans one by one. "Dr. Kim," Jiho said, "Nara says the Void may already have agents on Earth. They can travel faster than their ships by sending small parts of themselves ahead." Dr. Kim's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "How will we know if someone is controlled by them?" Nara sent an image to Jiho, humans with eyes that looked normal except for brief moments when they turned completely black. "The eyes," Jiho said. "They turn black, but only for a second or two, and they move differently, like they're not used to having a body." "Great," Dr. Kim muttered. "So we can't trust anyone." "There's more," Jiho added. "Nara says they hate light. Bright light hurts them and can force them out of a host body." Dr. Kim nodded. "That's useful to know." As they drove, Jiho learned more about Dr. Kim. She had been studying the possibility of alien life for years, but few people had taken her work seriously. Until now. "I have a colleague at the facility, Dr. Kang Do-yun," she said. "He's brilliant. With communication systems. We'll need his help to send a strong enough signal to reach the Luminar ships. Nara stirred under the blankets. Through their link, Jiho felt her worry. What's wrong? He asked her silently. The void will try to stop us, Nara replied in his mind. They will know what we are trying to do. They reached the facility just as the sun was fully up. It looked like a normal research building from the outside, but Jiho could see the heavy security, guards, cameras, and high fences topped with barbed wire. Dr. Kim drove to a side entrance. She showed her ID to a guard who looked bored. He barely glanced at Jiho or the lump under the blankets in the back seat. New equipment for the lab, Dr. Kim explained when he asked what she was bringing in. Once inside, they moved quickly through empty hallways to a service elevator. Dr. Kim used a Obair special key to take them to a lower level that wasn't on the regular buttons. My private lab is down here, she said. We should be safe for a while. The lab was large and filled with equipment Jiho had never seen before. Screens showed star maps and data streams. In the center was a man working at a computer station. He looked up as they entered. Hyejin? Who is this? And what is that? Nara had thrown off the blankets and stood tall on her 6 legs. Dr. Kang stepped back, his eyes wide with shock. Do-hyun, this is Ranger Park Jiho and Nara, Dr. Kim said calmly. They're here to help us save the world. Dr. Kang moved slowly around Nara, studying her with growing wonder. It's real. All these years of searching the stars, and the proof, walks right into our lab. We don't have much time, Dr. Kim said. Do-hyun, I need you to help us send a signal to space. A very strong, very specific signal. While Dr. Kim explained the situation, Jiho and Nara explored the lab. Through their link, Nara explained what she needed to do. I must send not just words but memories, she told Jiho. My people need to see the blood oath through my eyes. They need to feel what I felt when you saved me. Only then will they understand their duty to Earth. Dr. Kang was typing rapidly at his computer. I can boost our satellite signal to reach deep space, he said. But I need to know exactly what frequency to use. Nara went to him and placed her nose on his hand. Dr. Kang jumped, then relaxed as Nara shared the knowledge he needed. Amazing, he whispered. Direct mind-to-mind communication. They worked through the day, connecting Nara to the communication system using sensors attached gently to her head. Dr. Kim brought food for everyone, including raw meat for Nara. The signal will be strongest at midnight, Dr. Kang explained. When our satellite is in the right position, as evening came, Jiho felt a growing unease through his link with Nara. She was restless, her ears twitching at small sounds. Something is wrong, she told him in his mind. Dr. Kim came back from getting coffee. She looked worried. There are extra security guards on this floor, she said quietly. That's not normal. Dr. Kang shook his head. I didn't call for them. Nara growled low in her throat. The void, she said through the link. They know we are here. Dr. Kang went to check the hallway. When he returned, his face was pale. They're coming this way, 6 guards all armed. We need more time, Dr. Kim said. The satellite won't be in position for another hour. Jiho looked at Nara, then at the scientists. What about the damaged parts from Nara's ship? Could they help boost the signal now? Dr. Kim's eyes widened. Of course. Do-hyun, if we can connect alien tech to our system, it might work, Dr. Kang finished. But we need those parts. I can get them, Jiho said. I know where the ship is. No, Dr. Kim said. It's too dangerous. The whole area is guarded now. I have to try, Jiho insisted. It's our only chance. Before anyone could argue more, the lab door opened. A security guard walked in, his face blank. When he saw them, his eyes flashed black for just a second. The void, Nara growled, this time out loud. The guard reached for his gun, but Dr. Kang tackled him. They fell to the floor, fighting for control of the weapon. Go, Dr. Kim shouted to Jiho. Get what we need. We'll hold them off. Jiho ran for the door, with Nara right behind him. They slipped past the struggle and into the hallway. "This way," Jiho said, heading for the stairs instead of the elevator. They made it to the parking level and found Dr. Kim's car. As Jiho started the engine, alarms began to sound throughout the building. They drove fast through the night, back toward the mountains and the crash site. Through their link, Jiho could feel Nara's fear and determination. "Even if we get the parts," she told him, "I may not survive sending the signal. It will take all my strength." "Don't say that," Jiho replied. "We'll both make it through this." But, as they reached the forest road leading to the crash site, bright lights appeared behind them. More cars in pursuit. "We need to hurry," Jiho said. The race to save Earth had begun, and time was running out. Jiho parked the car off the road and deep among the trees. Nara leaped out, her white fur glowing in the moonlight. "The ship is just ahead," Jiho said. "We need to be fast." They ran through the dark forest. Behind them, car doors slammed as their pursuers began the chase on foot. Jiho could hear shouting and the beams of flashlights cutting through the trees. They reached the crater where Nara's ship had crashed. Government workers had put up a fence around it and set up lights and equipment. 2 guards stood by the ship, but they looked bored and tired. "Wait here," Jiho whispered to Nara. He crept around the edge of the crater until he was behind the guards. Picking up a rock, he threw it far to the left. It crashed loudly through the branches. "What was that?" one guard said. Both guards walked toward the sound, their hands on their guns. Jiho waved to Nara, who bounded silently into the crater and to her ship. Jiho followed her. The ship was small, barely big enough for Nara to fit inside. Part of it had been cut open by the scientist studying it. "What are we looking for?" Jiho asked through their link. Nara showed him an image of a round crystal device at the heart of the ship. It was the communication core. Jiho crawled into the damaged ship, while Nara kept watch. Inside, he found the crystal device still connected to the ship's systems. It took him several minutes to disconnect it without breaking anything. "I got it," he said, crawling back out with the device in his hands. But it was too late. The guards had returned, and with them were 3 men whose eyes flashed black in the moonlight. The void had found them. "Run!" Nara growled, and leaped at the guards. Jiho ran with the crystal device clutched to his chest. Behind him he heard shouts and gunfire, then a yelp of pain that made his own leg burn through their mental link. Nara was hurt. He stopped and turned back. "Nara!" The white wolf was limping toward him, blood darkening her fur. 3 guards lay unconscious on the ground. The void-controlled men were still coming. "Keep going," Nara told him through their link. "The device is more important than me." But Jiho wouldn't leave her. He ran back and helped support her weight as they moved through the forest together. The sound of pursuit grew more distant as they found a stream and followed it to hide their trail. By dawn, they had made it back to Jiho's cabin. He treated Nara's wound. A bullet had grazed her shoulder, and tried to call Dr. Kim. There was no answer. "We need to go back to the facility," Jiho said. "It's the only place with equipment strong enough to send the signal." "It will be heavily guarded now," Nara warned. "Then we'll need a distraction." They rested through the morning. Jiho found his old ranger uniform and put it on. It might help him move around without being questioned. Just after noon, Jiho's phone rang. It was Dr. Kim. "Where are you?" she asked, her voice tense. "At my cabin. We got the crystal from Nara's ship. Where are you?" "Still at the facility. Do-hyun and I managed to convince security that the alarm was just a system error. But things are strange here. More people with black eyes. The void is spreading," Jiho said. "We need to hurry. Can you bring the crystal here? I'll meet you at the east entrance in 1 hour." Jiho agreed, but after hanging up, he felt Nara's doubt through. "Their link. What is it?" he asked. "I'm not sure that was Dr. Kim," Nara said. "The void can make hosts sound like themselves." Jiho thought for a moment. "Then we need a test. Something only the real Dr. Kim would know." They drove back to the facility with the crystal hidden in Jiho's bag. Nara stayed in the car, hidden under blankets again. Her wound was better, but she was still weak. Dr. Kim was waiting at the east entrance as promised. Jiho approached her carefully. "Before I give you anything," he said, "tell me what you said to me when we first met in the interrogation room." "Doctor," Kim smiled. "I said that until last week most people thought our job was unnecessary. Now we have proof that we are not alone." It was the right answer. Jiho relaxed a little and showed her the crystal in his bag. "Excellent," Dr. Kim said. "Follow me. Do-hyun has the equipment ready." They went through the same hallways as before, down to the lower level. Dr. Kang was working at his computer as they entered the lab. "You got it," he said, looking at the crystal with excitement. "Now we just need the alien to connect with it." "I'll get her," Jiho said. "She's in the car, Doctor." Kim put her hand on his arm. "No need. We have everything we need right here." Something in her voice made Jiho pause. He looked at her eyes, and for just a second they flashed black. Jiho backed away. "You're not Dr. Kim." Her face changed, becoming cold and empty. "Give us the crystal," she said in a flat voice. Dr. Kang looked confused. "Hyejin? What's going on?" Then his eyes widened as Dr. Kim pulled out a gun and pointed it at Jiho. "The void has her," Jiho said to Dr. Kang. "They're trying to stop us from sending the signal." The door to the lab slammed open. The real Dr. Kim stood there, breathing hard. "Get away from them, Jiho, that's not me." The fake Dr. Kim turned and fired her gun. The real Dr. Kim ducked behind a desk. Dr. Kang tackled the fake Dr. Kim from behind and they struggled for the gun. Jiho ran to the real Dr. Kim. "Are you okay?" "Yes," she gasped. "The void has taken over many people in the facility, but I found a way to force them out." She held up a device that looked like a flashlight. "Ultra bright light, like you said. It works." A gunshot made them both jump. Dr. Kang fell to the floor, clutching his side. The fake Dr. Kim stood over him, gun in hand. Jiho didn't think. He ran and tackled her, knocking the gun away. They rolled. On the floor fighting, the fake Dr. Kim was unnaturally strong now. Jiho shouted. The real Dr. Kim aimed her light device at the fake one's face and turned it on. Blindingly bright light filled the room. The fake Dr. Kim screamed, but it wasn't a human sound. A dark shadow seemed to pour out of her mouth and eyes, then vanished in the light. The body that had been the fake Dr. Kim went limp. It was just an empty shell now. Dr. Kim helped Dr. Kang, whose wound wasn't as bad as it looked. "We need to hurry," she said. "The Luminar ships will be in range in less than an hour." Jiho ran to get Nara from the car. When he returned with her, Dr. Kang had connected the crystal to their satellite system. The real Dr. Kim was bandaging his side. "It's ready," Dr. Kang said, "but we need a direct mental link to send the full message, the memories of the blood oath." Nara stepped forward. "I am ready." They attached sensors to Nara's head and connected them to the crystal. It began to glow with a soft blue light. "When we activate this," Dr. Kim explained, "it will take all of Nara's mental energy to send the message far enough to reach her people. It could be dangerous for her." Jiho knelt beside Nara. "There must be another way." Nara touched her nose to his forehead. "This is why I survived the crash. This is why you found me. The blood oath must be honored." With a heavy heart, Jiho nodded. Dr. Kang started the sequence. The crystal glowed brighter and brighter. Nara's white fur began to glow too, as if she was burning from within. Through their link, Jiho felt her pain, but also her determination. Images flashed through Jiho's mind. Nara's memories of him feeding her, helping her, their growing bond, and the blood oath that now connected her to all humanity. Suddenly, the crystal flared with blinding light. Nara gave a single howl that seemed to shake the very air. Then she collapsed. Jiho caught her as she fell. Her body felt light, almost weightless. Through their link, he felt her consciousness fading. "Nara, stay with me," he begged. But instead of disappearing completely, her mind seemed to flow into his. Her memories, her knowledge, her very self, all pouring into Jiho's mind. The signal, Dr. Kang said in awe. It's working. It's reaching the Luminar fleet. Jiho held Nara's still form, tears running down his face. But in his mind he felt her presence, still alive in a way, now part of him forever. She's not gone, he whispered. She's here, with me. Outside, strange lights began to fill the sky.